Hey everybody, this is Herschel Froome from High School Top 200. This next team up for the preseason rankings is Kelston Boys High School. Kelston Boys High School is obviously a strong traditional rugby school that has so much success over the last 20 years, 25 years, and so they have always sort of set the standard of what a rugby program should kind of look like and what the standard of the boys should be. They have had so many good players, so many great players actually over the past 25 years that it's been kind of hard to see how they have been within the last 5 years or so. They've come a long way since. They've added a league team, which doesn't actually help within the school system in terms of the first 15 because boys are going to want to play league as well, and they're really successful at it, and so that sort of takes away from it. But at the same time, they still have to get on with their job in the first 15 level, and they're not running out of players. They've always got a lot of players. They've always got a long list of boys that can jump into positions. This is just a new thing, and last year I thought that they started off pretty new. They had some bad losses, but I think they ended the year pretty well and pretty positive and really in a really good position for this year, and also the players that are coming back for this year. So I think that they have the players that they need. Like they've got, for example, they have Ezra Vai, who I think is probably one of the top hookers in the country, and is at a New Zealand secondary school level type player, who is a big, strong kid, really explosive, really agile, leads from the front, has a really good running game, defends really strong as well. And so he's going to be at that level with the top players in the country, and he's going to be one of those guys that leads from the front. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being their captain this year. He's got a guy like Abraham Fulani, who's one of the loose head props, who's also going to be there. So at least the front is really good, and the front is, the front row is going to be there and going to be competitive. Amaniasi, I think his name is Vuki, who's the other prop, is probably going to be there. He's a year 12 prop. So he's going to be one of the guys that will probably fill in that other role, even though he is young. But they do have players, and so I would look to Ezra a lot to probably either settle things down or really put the pressure on to pick things up, and he'll be the guy that the big measurement fella for their team. They got a young kid, Josh McKenzie, who'll probably be at blindside. Who'll be a guy that they could probably turn to quite a bit as well, and help out on the defensive end and defensive end of things, and even sort of steady the team a bit. I would also look to their number 8. They have a good number 8 who's come in, Salesi Savalio, who's a big number 8, and so they've got another big number 8 after even last year's big number 8 as well. So they've got another big number 8 who seems to be pretty damaging. He's got a good reputation for that. His just physical play, good ball running skills and things like that. Abel Mangalongo is probably going to be the first 5. He looks at like being one of the first 5 coming into this year. He's going to have a really good backline to go with him. JJ Wilson, who is also a first 5 kind of midfield utility guy, will probably end up at second 5 with Tuna, Totala 4. Will probably be at centre. I really liked them at wing. I really liked them on the wing. Maybe Raymond Vaenga could probably go into centre along with JJ, and probably have Tuna out on the wing, and then Max Tualoa is probably going to be at fullback, and maybe he works well and works better with Tuna as well. But I mean, they whatever they go with is going to be something dangerous. They're always going to have a lot of options to run, a lot of options, a lot of routes, a lot of route running that they could go to on the outside and play more of an outside towards the lines kind of rugby, using the sideline as sort of the gauge and to push up pressure and sort of to spread the field as well. I mean, I would spread the back line, pretty much across the whole field, and have big spaces in between so that you have guys like JJ Tuna and Raymond, and then Max coming into the line and sort of just running some really big gaps and things like that, and maybe a bit of screens and things like that, those kind of plays. With that talent in their backline, I wouldn't put it past these guys to be a real sort of undercover kind of threat to the other teams within the 1A. And that's sort of the strength of the 1A as well, where, I mean, you have the top tier teams right now, like maybe the top 5 teams, and then you have Kelston, who is right there behind them as well, pushing up, and making sure that you keep the big teams honest and the stronger teams honest, because if one of those stronger teams has a bad game and it happens to be against Kelston is going to put some points on them and they're going to come away with that win. So they're going to make sure that these guys stay honest to their levels, and it is kind of just a warning for them. But if they were to have a bad game, don't have it against Kelston, because Kelston will embarrass you. Kelston, I know that the Kelston is actually on the way back up, with their rugby program that they have in place and the system that they have right now. So the coaching staff is doing something right. They're doing something right within their academy and within their development. And so I think within maybe the next few years, we're going to see Kelston back at its best and where they're pretty much supposed to be. That's my review of Kelston boys. Peace.